This video is sponsored by Milanote. I'm out and about today testing the OM System OM5, which came out in November 2022, which, to my knowledge, makes it the most recent Micro Four Thirds camera on the market. A new Micro Four Thirds camera. Let's see what it's all about. Now, we have a lot of bells and whistles in this camera, a lot of computational photography specs, but the general specs are 20 megapixel Micro Four Thirds sensor, we have a flippy screen, we have a weather sealing, we have an EVF. We do have a design that is very, very similar to the EM5 Mark III and looks very similar to the whole EM5 lineup. I recently reviewed the original OM5 on my channel from 2012, so that's like 10 years difference in development. And they do look incredibly similar, which just goes to show that it's quite a timeless design. The main difference in terms of build quality is the original one did have a magnesium alloy body, which made it very, very robust, but also a little bit heavier. This is more plastic, but it is a very premium feel all the same. We also have 7.5 stops of in-body stabilization, and the OM System stabilization is second to none, so I'm excited to give that a run for its money. But I did save the best to last. This Micro Four Thirds tiny camera has phase detect autofocus. I wanted that in a Micro Four Thirds camera for a heck of a long time, and I'm very excited to see how the phase detect in the OM5 stands up against my other camera which has it, which is the S5 Mark II. How did that do? It's good, that camera, in it.
The wall is in focus.
Is it good? That makes me very excited. Don't make me want you. Is that good? Did that work?
All the way.
Does it get it though? No autofocus test would be complete without seeing how we can vlog and whether it keeps me in focus. And I think it does. I think this is a very uncomfortable angle, but that's pretty good. So far, I have to say, the AF is sparking joy. It is sparking joy in a Micro Four Thirds camera. Oh, that exposure is not great though, is it? I should have thought about that. Just like the Lumix GH6, we have a 50 megapixel handheld high-res mode, really utilizing that IBIS to shift the sensor inside the camera to composite a really big photograph of what you're shooting. It's great that you can use it handheld. When it's on a tripod, like certain cameras do have it, but only on a tripod, I do find that I use it less. And it really does depend on what you're shooting, because your subject needs to be very still as well, because there is a slight delay as it stitches it all together. One computational bell and whistle that I'm super duper excited about is Live ND. When I first read about this, I thought, oh my god, there's internal neutral density filters in the camera. I am sold. And I had it in my basket and I was like, yes, let's do it. And then I realized it is only a computational approximation of having an ND filter. That was a very long sentence to say. It doesn't have actual physical ND filters built into the camera, but if you are using a tripod, you can simulate a long exposure by stitching several photographs together to create sort of motion blur in cars or in water or anything else that you would use a long exposure for. But sadly, just to confirm, it is not for video. So if you are shooting video with the OM5, you still need your traditional ND filter to get the correct shutter speed. One feature I'm hoping to test before this video comes out is starry autofocus, starry AF. Now, it's been cloudy and rainy in England for like the last million years right now, so I haven't actually had a star to test it on, but I live in hope. Usually when you're shooting stars, it's quite tricky to nail the focus, and you're generally relying on manual focus because the camera can't really figure out what you want, and you're relying on focus peaking and magnification to make sure that the stars are crisp. With Starry AF, the camera does it all for you, so you can nail focus every single time. And I think that is a feature that I will benefit from a heck of a lot, because there's a few times that I've been trying astrophotography where I haven't got the focus quite right, and it really annoys me. So yay for this feature. I just hope I can show it and demonstrate it to you. Apologies if not. Shoot a video over a flight path, Emily, that was a good idea. A computational feature in this camera is live composite mode. We've had live composite mode for a hot minute now, ever since the EM5 Mark II, I believe, though correct me if I'm wrong. We all know what it is by now, hopefully. You use a tripod and it will only record the parts of the image that are changing. So you can do long exposure composites during the day, during the night, you can do star trails. If you are a camera fanatic like myself, it's worth getting a camera that does this just for this feature. But now we can wait for the traffic lights to change and get the other side on the other direction. There's no time limit because it won't overexpose. Here they come. One advancement in the menu system that I am super happy about is we now have a My Menu feature, which is very similar to what you would find on certain Lumix cameras. These are the things that I have put in mine because these are the things that tend to get buried in the menus. It's easier for me to find that way. Otherwise, the menu system is quite similar to any other OM system or Olympus menu. I believe there is a newer version of the menu on the OM1, but we don't get that benefit here. As I've never used that, I don't really mind, but I imagine if you're buying into the ecosystem and you have an OM1 and an OM5 and it has slightly different menus, I reckon that'll be quite annoying. And something I haven't spoke about very often on this channel with my tiny camera series, the video features. We have some legitimate video features on the OM5. We also have an audio jack input, which means when you pair that with the phase detect autofocus, we have a very good contender for a vlogging sort of camera. It's small, it has IBIS, it has the flippy screen, you have good audio, and you have good video features to match. Don't be expecting anything along the same lines of the GH series or the S series in the Lumix lineup. We have got sort of basic features. We have 4K up to 30p, and we do only have 24p in cinema 4K, which means it's in 17:9 ratio, which gives us little annoying black bars, so you have to punch in a little bit if you shoot 24p. And as someone who shoots 24p all the time, you're watching 24p now, it's a little bit annoying that we don't have the 16:9 ratio. But I can live with it. I was just minding my business, living my best life, and literally 60 children just decided to sit next to me and have a picnic. Oh well. Anyway, one thing that's a little bit underwhelming in the video specs is we do have 120p but only in HD. Given we're on a Micro Four Thirds sensor and the Lumix cameras can do that in 4K, and even 60p in 4K is missing, I do think you've got enough features to get going, sort of if you wanted to do talking head stuff, if you wanted to do a little bit of B-roll, but for more robust video features, it really is more of a photo-centric camera in my opinion. Also, for your video nerd specs, this 4K footage is only 8-bit and 420, so really quite dated compared to a lot of other things on the market. I mean, the GH5 could do 10-bit 4K, and that is sort of 6-7 years old now. So definitely photo first, this camera. And quite right, it comes from a long line of photo-centric cameras, and it is what it is. I'm going to look at the video features as more of a happy bonus rather than something to overly critique. Let me just take a moment to show you guys some recent photography projects I've been planning with one of my favorite pieces of software, which is Milanote. This is my Milanote board. I wanted to do some light painting and to experiment with different styles. Now, I'm a very visual learner, and photography is of course a very visual medium. With this shoot, I had my model and I had two wand wavers, as I like to call them, and we needed to be on the same page. So having this board that I could share with them on our mobile devices, and I could physically show the model what I wanted her to do and the inspiration that we were going for in each of these scenarios. Throughout this board, I've also added some checklists as well. So whether we needed a tripod or not, how many lovely wand wavers were needed, colour ideas because we were using RGB lights, and just for fun, here are the finished results from that shoot. So as you can see, we didn't get too far off the mark. Milanote is perfect for planning projects like this. You can use their web clipper to get photographs from all the different places that you might find inspiration, and you can put all of your ideas in one logical place. Milanote is available for free with no time limit, so sign up using the link below and get started on your next creative project. I think the image quality is superb, the features are very rich, and it's a very stylish and small camera. It ticks a lot of my boxes personally, but there are a few things that I do like less. First of all, the most bewildering thing about this camera is there is no USB-C. It's a micro USB, and I just think that's crazy in 2023 or 2022 when this camera came out. There is no facility to charge your camera and record, and it does have unlimited recording time, so I think that's a really missed trick here. You can charge via a power bank. Like today I'm out and about in London, and I will put my camera on charge on a power bank, but it won't charge when it's on. It can't have cost a lot to put a USB-C in versus a micro USB, so yeah, that's a bit of a missed trick in my opinion. And my other criticism is, while there is a lot to love, it's not a world apart from the EM5 Mark III. This is a newly branded OM System camera. There's not much new, but having a new Micro Four Thirds camera in general is fantastic in my opinion. So who is this camera for? I think it's for someone who values computational photography features. Things like live composite and live ND and starry AF. These things are some of the things that OM System do better than any other camera manufacturer. So if those are the things that really spark your interest, this is a great camera to go for. I think it's also for someone who's deeply embedded into the Micro Four Thirds ecosystem. Maybe you have a lot of lenses and you're just looking for an updated camera with better AF. This ticks a ton of boxes for an everyday carry camera and even for some light vlogging as well. So it is great in a vacuum. In a vacuum, what I mean by that is the price of this is quite heavy for what we get, in my opinion. I think if you're looking only at Micro Four Thirds cameras, it has a hell of a lot to offer, particularly the phase detect autofocus. But if you're looking towards other brands, there are true hybrid cameras on the market for around the same price if you are looking for something that literally splits down the middle and does video and photo brilliantly. So I would say that this is not for a genuine hybrid shooter. If you want 50% video and 50% photo, I would look elsewhere. If you want something that's more photo-centric with good enough video features, I think this is a superb option. If you're looking for a brand new everyday carry that has very reliable autofocus and really cool features, this is gorgeous, it's portable, it's light, and it ticks about all the boxes that you could want. It's even weather sealed. And I will say, I'm just so blooming happy we have a new Micro Four Thirds camera to talk about. Yes, I'm a little bit late to the game, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But still, it is new by Micro Four Thirds standards, considering I'm reviewing things that are like 10 years old at the moment. And I think it bodes well for people that love the system, like me and presumably you. I think if we keep getting new cameras, we keep getting new people interested in the system, it's a good sign for things to come. What I would like for the OM5 Mark II is better, more dedicated video features, some slow-mo, some 10-bit video, and all of those good things that other camera brands offer. On the photography side, I think it's really, really solid. It's as good as you can get in the realm of Micro Four Thirds with the modern 20 megapixel sensor. The IBIS from OM System is amazing, and it's weather sealed, etc. I love it. There is a part of me that would like the metal build quality back, like the Pen F and the original OM5. I do think something is sort of lost when you've gone down the plasticky route, but a lot of other manufacturers do that. It's fine, it's not a criticism, it's just personal preference, and it does make it lighter for an everyday carry camera. So what do you think of the OM5? Is this something that's on your radar? Is this something that you're interested in buying? Let me know in the comments below, and watch these videos next to discover more tiny cameras, because I talk about them a lot.